This is Tim Francis from ProfitFactory.com, and if you are tired of working too much in your business, then I have some very exciting news for you. I'm going to show you in the next few minutes how you can work less in your business so that you can work more on your business, you can take time off, start other businesses, whatever it is that's inspiring you to work less in your business is fine by me. Here is the game plan to get there, and it's something called the engine room. The engine room looks like this, and I'll explain more of it in the next few minutes. Before we go there, though, we need to understand this slide right here, what I call the stages of growth. Basically, when you started your business, you were alone. You were a solopreneur, an operator, where I'm calling this just like the E. So you'd had no other team members, you were just all by yourself. Then some time went by, and you started getting some team members, and you're still in the middle of the engine room right here. You do have some help though, which can be really nice to help you get work done. Then most entrepreneurs unfortunately never make the leap from stage 2 to stage 3. They stay in the middle of things right here, and therefore the business completely depends on them. When the entrepreneur is in the engine room, it makes it impossible to scale the business up to past a certain point because the entrepreneur is the bottleneck. And secondly, it also becomes virtually impossible to sell the business because the business depends again on the entrepreneur. It also becomes impossible for the entrepreneur to work on the business because they have to spend so much time working in it just to keep things moving around. So it's a real problem when the entrepreneur is stuck inside the engine room. The solution then to go from stage 2 over to stage 3 is to build what is called the engine room, and that's what you see right here. And you'll notice that the entrepreneur is nowhere in the engine room. The entrepreneur is actually outside of the engine room over here. And inside this engine room, we've got team members who are able to work collaboratively, and they have all the tools that they need to be able to get the work done without relying on the entrepreneur. The entrepreneur is responsible to give the team vision, to say, hey, this is what we're doing, this is the direction we're going, this is kind of how we're going to do it. Resources, to say, here's the money you'll need, here's login information, here's keys, here's equipment, whatever it is that the team needs. And then lastly is specifics of definition of done. For the entrepreneur to tell the engine room, hey, the definition of done here is I need to see X, Y, and Z by this date and on this budget. And I will sign off on this as being a success if it hits these criteria. And so all of that is definition of done. So you can see that when the entrepreneur can hand over these 3 items, vision, resources, definition of done, to the team, suddenly the team is able to go run. They can just run with the ball and go as far as they like without the entrepreneur needing to be there. Entrepreneur is available still for some phone calls or emails for some guidance along the way, but largely this team is able to run on its own. So flipping very quickly over to this other infographic, the engine room, you can see that everything we're talking about here, building the team, then giving them the leadership of vision, resources, definition of done. The team becomes the engine room, and then the owner along the way can review the results and help tweak the direction and also maybe adjust the team along the way. And so building a business is really about going round and round and round and round. Now, a great insight that I recently got was that the engine room, there's actually not just one engine room. That in fact there are multiple engines within your engine room. And what I mean by that is if we look at your business like this and the 3 different stages, we can actually see that there's separate different engines. So the very first engine, we might call this administration. And admin is something that once upon a time you had to do. Maybe you got a secretary or virtual assistant, and then eventually it'd be nice if they can handle your email inbox, your calendar, a lot of that with very little interaction with you. The second might be something like production. So whatever it is that you produce, be it a product or services that you render, originally it was just you. And then over time, maybe you built a team. So maybe you have other reps that are out there working for you. That are building or training or whatever it is that your business does. They're helping you to produce whatever it is you've sold. And once you get to this point, you can have them running it for you. The next might be, say, sales. The next might be marketing. Okay, next might be something like maintenance or something like that. So whatever the different engines are that keep your business rolling, each one of them could be in stage 1, 2, or 3. And so you might be super, super tight in, let's say, the administration, and you might be super, super tight in the production, but you're like the only salesperson in the business. And if you stop selling, it goes away. Or maybe you're the only one who's putting all the marketing materials out and writing emails to send to the database and whatnot. Maybe you're not doing very much marketing at all. And so it's kind of like a weakness. So when we look at each 90-day period for an entrepreneur, we're looking at what is missing to get all the necessary areas up to a stage 3 so that the entrepreneur can spend less and less and less time working in the various engine rooms of the business and can spend more time working on it, can spend more time away from the business, perhaps on vacation or with family, or can go start other businesses, whatever it is that floats the boat of the entrepreneur. So that is the engine room in a very brief discussion. It is a relatively simple concept. Obviously, the devil is in the details, and that's what we're here for with Profit Factory, is to help you to learn how to build your own engine room so that you can work less in your business and you can get the control and freedom that you've always imagined having from your business.